baby, come here. I'ma show you how to love, no fear. Don't be shy.
Not every video that I make is going to be super refined in nature. Honestly, sometimes I just want to turn on the camera and record. And this video is actually one of those videos where I just want to talk about something that came to mind. Okay. And I want to talk about patience. I don't actually have a lot of this myself. I'm quick to leave a line if it's too long or just cancel something if it's taking too long. But I do totally understand the importance of having patience. Why? Because it's a natural order of things. It's how things work. You have to wait for certain processes to complete before you can engage with what it is that you're trying to engage with. Like, you don't eat raw meat just because it's taking too long to cook. You wait for it to cook because you know that it's going to taste better when it's cooked and it's all got all those flavors and stuff in it or whatever that you did to it. You don't just jump into things just because it's taking too long for something to happen. Usually you wait for the entire process to finish and then you engage with whatever it is that you're trying to engage with. And I think also that this has a lot to do with, our own internal timers. We all have our own internal clock. We don't have the same clock as somebody else. Somebody else, as you can see on the roads, on the sidewalks, in the hallways, they'll take longer than you would to do certain things. They'll take way longer to do certain things than you personally would because they have their own internal clock and they move by it and you move by your own. And that's something that I feel like we need to respect more about people and also learn more about ourselves, because patience comes not just from saying it or believing in it. It's practice. It takes practice because you have to learn to be patient through certain things that normally you may not have waited for if it didn't mean as much to you, or you genuinely just don't usually wait for. You don't usually wait. But I do think it's risky to not practice patience. Just like you wouldn't touch a hot stove before it's cooled off, you know that you shouldn't do that. And oftentimes you would do it to yourself. If you got burnt, you would have done it to yourself. There would have been no one to blame for you getting burnt because you decided not to wait for that stove to cool off. You knew the process. You knew it was hot and it needs to take time to cool off. Now, and it's not just about the time, it's about the process. Man, let's talk about divine timing, okay? Let's talk about divine timing. Divine timing, to me, is not about 30 minutes passing, an hour passing, a day passing, weeks, months passing. It's about a process. Once the process is complete, you get to move on. And sometimes you can push and force and try for something to happen quicker than it's ready to happen, and you're only going to hurt yourself because it has to complete the process first before you can engage with it and enjoy it for what it is. That's why I say the thing about the hot stove and the raw meat is you have to wait for the process to occur. You don't just wait for 30 minutes to pass. You put the meat in the oven, set it to its correct temperature. You prepare whatever else you have to prepare on the plate or whatever, and then you wait for the meat to cook, and then you add it all in. You have this whole process that you're going through basically. And I feel like we only think about the timing. Oh, how long is it going to take? It's going to take a year for me to finish this? Oh my God. Okay, but what do you have to do in that year though? And honestly, the time may fly by if you just do what you have to do. That typically would feel like it takes a year, but it's just like you have to go here, you have to go travel here. And it's not going to feel like that because you're just focused on the process. That's why I think we need to be more focused on the process than the timing that it actually takes to do something. Focus on what you have to do. And oftentimes the time will pass that's needed to pass before you can do what but you don't count the seconds. You just do what you need to do. And honestly, I need to take my own advice with that because sometimes I'll wait for the clock to pass and be like, dang, why is this not happening yet? Baby girl, because you got to do something. Yeah, I don't have much to add to that anymore. I guess that's where this video was supposed to go, was about divine timing. It's not about how many seconds pass. It's about what you do in those seconds that matter. All right. Bye.